generations. And now, the power of two restores the one.
We got a bidet! Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel Dyad in the Rough. Today we are going to go ahead and talk about the announcements that happened at D23 and give some of my thoughts on them. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with talking about um, the Disney parks stuff and what's exciting and coming to the parks and what's some of the disgruntlements from everybody, right? So let's first talk about Walt Disney World. So in Magic Kingdom, which is the hot off the press subject right now, in Magic Kingdom, we are going to be getting a new Cars area. There's going to be two new attractions that come to this. I think they're calling it the New Frontier because it's going to be over by Frontierland. But the big rumor is that they are going to be demolishing the riverboat attraction and like all the water over there, and then even going back further and expanding out there with some other stuff. And a lot of people are upset about it. A lot of people are very disappointed that the riverboat is not going to be there anymore. I would say for me, as far as going on the attraction, it really wasn't my thing. I think we've gone on the boat once. And we usually go to Tom Sawyer Island at least once every visit. But I would also say that they're not necessarily things where I absolutely have to go to them. I feel like they're probably the ones where if we have to cut something, we would cut them. Also, though, I do like the aesthetic of it. I do like, the calming waters out there. We go like just walking through Frontierland. It's nice to see, a frontier. It's nice to see the little town that's kind of a replica of the olden days. And then it's nice to see, the riverboat and the nice water. It's all just a really, really good aesthetic mesh that happens right there. And so I'm really curious to see how this Cars area ends up changing that. Um, should we be worried about it? I don't know. Is it going to be more of a frontier type deal with the cars? Like, are they going to try to emulate the Frontierland stuff with the whatever surroundings they have for cars? Who knows? But I'm interested in it. I also know that the only Cars thing that's been at Disney World in the past is like the Lightning McQueen thing in Hollywood Studios. We weren't really the biggest fans of that, so I hope this is much better. A couple other things coming to Disney World. There's going to be a new nighttime parade, which is exciting. But I think the most exciting announcement from Walt Disney World was the Villains Land. So there will be a dedicated area to Magic Kingdom that is all about villains. And I am stoked for that. And I believe there's supposed to be one or two attractions that are going to be coming to that area. I'm hoping that they bring back some of the dark, scary elements to their ride. Because if you're not aware, there used to be a Snow White ride at Walt Disney World before the Dwarf ride. That was kind of like a scary, I think it was like Snow White's Scary Tales or something like that. And it was a dark, scary ride. And then people were saying, oh, it's too scary. And so uh, ultimately it ended up getting taken away. And I think that's like the stupidest move they could have ever done because I love that ride. Um, but again, going back to that idea of it's supposed to be scary, making a dark ride, we should be doing that, right? So I hope that's what we get in the Villains Land. They're also going to have, dining and shopping, of course, for villains. And I think there's going to be a lot of money there to be made. Now, I feel like fans have been asking for this land for quite some time, but it's a weird coincidence that it's being announced right after Universal is kind of doing their Epic Universe, like dark monster area. I'm not sure if they're trying to combat that or not, if that's what's going on, but um, I'm excited for it. Animal Kingdom, there's a couple of things going on there too. There's going to be a whole new like reimagining of Dino Land. I'm not the hugest fan of that because I love the dinosaur ride. Between the dinosaur ride and Everest, those are my two favorite things over there. Usually, when we get to Animal Kingdom, we go to dinosaur first, ride that, and then we, shoot over to um, Everest. So it's sad to see that one go. I know there's a lot of rumors that it's going to be turned into Indiana Jones, which they did officially announce an Indiana Jones ride, so that's probably where it's going. But they also announced an Encanto ride, so that's going to be pretty cool. I hope there's some good things going there. And then I also think that there's a new Zootopia thing being added too. I believe that's replacing the Bugs Life show Under the Tree of Life. I'm also not a big fan of that because I love A Bug's Life. I grew up with it. I still love it till today. And unfortunately, they gotta go. I hope there's an attraction later down the line, like maybe flying the bird or something. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm gonna miss it, that's for sure. Hollywood Studios. It's another um, big thing that's happening that I'm excited for. Is the Monsters Inc. land. I thought this was super cool. They're gonna have their first ever, what I would call a dangle coaster, or the more official word is a suspended coaster. Uh, I believe it's gonna basically be like going around the door area based on the concept art that they showed us. I think this can be cool. I just hope they end up doing something really, really cool with it. Like if this is just, whipping around the door area and just seeing a couple characters here and there, I don't think that's super exciting. I feel like there's way more they could do with Monsters Inc., to than just running around the door area. So I hope there's more than just that. Based on the little model that was shown for the concept art, it kind of looked like that was all that was going to happen. So that's why I'm a little worried about it, but hoping that that's just for concept reasons. Another big thing happening at Hollywood Studios is there's going to be a little revamp in Galaxy's Edge. And what that is the Smuggler's Run ride. I mean, that's based mostly off of a mission where you're helping Hondo and you're going to get some cargo and bring it back. Supposedly, they're going to incorporate Mando and Grogu for the new movie coming out. So I'm very, very interested to see, is this going to be a complete shift over to Mando and Grogu, or is this going to be a situation of um like Star Tours where you can go on the ride and get one experience and then go on again and get a completely different one? Are they going to be going back and forth, or is it just going to be strictly one or the other? Or is it just going to be you're doing Hondo's mission and Mando happens to show up? I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it. Epcot. There wasn't a whole lot for Epcot. I mean, they talked a little bit about what we kind of already know, that they're redoing the test track. Um, but I think aside from that, the only other things that they had was a couple of restaurants. So not a whole lot happening at Epcot. Okay, moving on to Disneyland. We got California Adventure Park. So they are adding Avatar. They are going to be adding Avatar stuff to the park that is more associated with the second movie. So I think the one in Disney World at Animal Kingdom, I think that's supposed to focus on the first one. This is going to be focusing more on the Way of Water. And I think they're going to have two attractions based on what they were showing. So I think this is going to be great. I think it's really cool that um, even though it's a similar land, it's going to be different, which is kind of what I wish they would have done with Star Wars as well, but they basically just, you know, pasted the same thing in both parks. I think this is a better idea where if you go to Disney World, you get one Avatar experience, and if you go to Disneyland, you'll get a different Avatar experience. So I'm into that. There is going to be some more Marvel stuff added to the park for Avengers Campus. There's going to be a Stark Flight Lab, which I'm not too sure how I feel about that ride. It looks like you're just going to be on an arm and it's going to move around in a bunch of different ways. That's not really for me. The one that seems more exciting is the Avengers Infinity Defense. So that's going to be like a sitting in a it looks kind of like the vehicle for Dinosaur, and I think it's going to be a really nice, huge set piece type ride where you're going from scene to scene in different worlds and seeing a lot of cool Marvel things. So I think that's going to be a really, really good one. Disneyland is going to have the very first Coco ride. So if you're a big fan of Coco, you got some good stuff coming for you. Uh, I'm looking forward to it. I just don't know when we'll end up going because I mean we're going to Disneyland here pretty soon, and I'm sure this will be much after when we get to go. So Tiana's Bayou Adventure, they got an opening date of November 15th. Unfortunately, of this year. Unfortunately, our trip is before that, so we won't be able to ride that. We were really hoping to experience the ride while we were at Disney in late September, early October, but unfortunately, we won't be able to. There will be a new attraction being built there that is going to be featuring an audio animatronic of Walt Disney himself. I believe it's going to be called Walt Disney: A Magical Life, and it's from what I gathered from it, it might be similar to kind of like a Hall of Presidents type situation where it's like a theater show. Um, but I don't know. I've never seen the stuff over there, so that's about all I have to think about it. Okay, the parks that are outside of the US, Disneyland Paris. So I personally think that Disneyland Paris got the better end of things, because they're getting a Lion King ride, and I'm super jealous about that. Um, a lot of people are, at least from what I've seen on social media, they are talking about how they wished that when they instead of remodeling Splash Mountain to be Tiana's Bayou in both parks in the United States, they should have made maybe one of them be Tiana and the other one be this Lion King ride, because when they look at the concept art for it, it looks a lot like Splash Mountain just with the Lion King theme on it. And also, I'm 100% for not having to have the same rides in both locations, have a way to um, make it different. So I'm I think we missed out on that. They're also going to have a new Spider-Man themed roller coaster. That's going to be in Shanghai Disney, not Disneyland Paris. So look forward to that as well. All right, so that is what we got for the parks. Now we got what happened with film, and, like movies and TV shows, right? So they kicked it off with a little preview for Moana 2. Uh, I liked Moana 1. Moana 2, I'm definitely going to go see it. I'm not super hyped like my wife is. I mean, she really liked Moana. But I think that's going to be a good one. Uh, yeah, looks good. We knew about that one, so let's move on to something that we haven't seen, which is Snow White. So we got our first teaser trailer for Snow White, the live action adaptation, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna go into it with an open mind, but I will say, from what I've seen on social media, people are not happy about it. So I'm very curious to see how this movie ends up doing at the box office. Um, if it's good, we'll let you know if it's good. If it's not what it should have been, we'll let you know that too. I know there's a lot of, bad press and whatnot surrounding this project because of some of the stuff that um, Rachel has said. Rachel Ziegler, I don't know her last name. Um, but let's give it a chance. Okay, let's give it a chance. Probably one of the most shocking ones of all was the Lilo and Stitch live action announcement. Uh, I'm excited for that. My sister is a huge Lilo and Stitch fan, so I know she's excited about this. It is coming out in 2025 in the summer. I will say I did think that the Stitch character looked pretty good. I know there was a big backlash for Sonic when that came out, and then they end up, touching it up and fixing it. I think they did a pretty good job here as far as translating the animation to live action. So I'm excited to see what it's like, and hopefully they add some stuff to, the movie to make it um uh kind of like what they did with Beauty and the Beast. Like they added more things in there to give more substance to the world. I'm hoping they do that here too. Incredibles 3, that was another big announcement that I did not see coming from Disney. I know Incredibles 2 did an incredible job at the box office, so I guess it's kind of like, duh, they're going to do another one. But I didn't foresee it happening so quick just because how long it took for the second one to come out. So we will be having a third one come out. It was announced. There really wasn't a whole lot of details about it. So I'm looking forward to it. Toy Story 5, it was a very, very short teaser. It really wasn't much of a trailer itself. It was just seeing some of those characters that we know and love, and then them, dropping the name of Toy Story 5 and 2026. So we got a couple of years for this one yet. Uh, I think so. When we watched the trailer, Sarah had mentioned, oh, they did most of the classic characters and none of the newer ones. Is this going to be more focused on, the classic characters? And I think we're going to be catfished in that sense. I think they are going to still have like a new character or have Forky and all that in there. I wasn't a big fan of Forky. Not a big fan of Lotso per se either. But I'm huge on the first two. So I'm hoping for some sort of classic adventure. I would even love to see Zurg come back just because I love Zurg. But I don't know. We'll have to see. We got Frozen 3 information. They put the big old logo up there saying it's coming in 2027. So that one's a bit down the road. We will have to wait for that one. Zootopia 2, we got that. That's going to be coming out pretty soon here as well, next year. We got an announcement for a movie called Elio. So that is an original from Pixar. It's not a sequel like most of these other ones are, and it's going to be coming out next year as well. We got our first look at Skeleton Crew for Star Wars. So this is, a space that I live in, right? I love Star Wars. We talk about the show. We talk about every episode here on the channel. So this is big for us. And what are my first impressions? It looks interesting. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high just because I don't know what to expect from this show. And I'm actually expecting little to nothing just because I don't know what it's really going to be about. Um, and there's no, in my opinion, there's no like pre-hype like the Acolyte had, where we were promised one thing and we ended up getting something else. But I don't think there's anything here that is promised beforehand that's, gonna create some sort of expectation for us to, potentially be let down about. The only thing that I do know as far as a connection to some of the other stuff that's happened with Star Wars is that one of the pirates in the Mandalorian show, I believe, is also in this show. And so there might be a small connection there. Maybe they'll mention the Mandalorian if it's during the same time frame, as Mando season 3. But who knows? Another big one that was announced that Sarah and I have been waiting quite a while is Agatha All Along. I know I've seen a lot of negativity about it on social media, but we're actually excited for this one. Um, I am a fan of um, Aubrey Plaza, big fan of hers, so I'm excited that she's part of the show. And we loved WandaVision, and so here we get to get a little bit more from that. All right, oh no, there's still a bit more. The Fantastic Four, we got some stuff, some information for that. We got some information on Daredevil Born Again. We got a little teaser about Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. I think everybody predicted what that third movie was going to be based on the elements. I think we even said, is the next one fire when we came out of the second movie? And yeah, sure enough, it is. That's coming out next year. So I did not anticipate that coming out so soon, but it sounds like next year, 2025, is going to have Avatar, and then 2026 is going to have a decent amount of Star Wars stuff coming out. So look forward to that. Freaky Friday 2, they took a look at that. We will have both Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis returning. I saw the original when I was a little kid, and so I'm curious to see how this one turns out too. I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch the first one just to see, what's going on here. How many Easter eggs do we have? Looking forward to that one. It's supposed to be in theaters sometime next year. Tron Ares, so a new Tron movie is coming out next year. I feel like Disney had a lot of projects under wraps. Like they kept it all hidden, and then they just were like, here you go. We're about to make tons of money next year, the next couple of years actually. Because there's a lot of big things coming out in the years to come. I have seen Tron Legacy, the most recent one. I might have seen the original. I don't remember anything from the original. Um, but going to see the new Tron, I'm definitely going to have to double back and check those out. And then one thing that I didn't quite understand a whole lot was they announced something about Monster Jam, the monster truck stuff. There's going to be, uh, I guess, a new movie about Monster Jam. So I have to wait and see what that's about. There's a new Pixar show on Disney Plus coming out called Win or Lose. I am very interested in that show. Don't know much about it personally. There is a trailer, but I don't know a whole lot about it. It looks like it's about kids that are involved with sports and how, kids are supposed to be learning from uh, putting in hard work, wins and losses. Uh, I don't know, maybe even some parents that hover over their kids when they play sports. I don't know. But what I can tell is that it seems to bring to light, what kids go through when they're part of a team and what challenges they may have to experience and grow from. Let's see. They also announced something called Hoppers, which they didn't have a whole lot of information on besides the fact it comes out in 2026. There was a picture of a beaver that looked like it was part of it. Um, oh, yeah, the new Lion King movie. I'm excited for that. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't see James Earl Jones's name in the list. So I understand that it's a younger Mufasa, but he's gonna be a teenager at some point and transition to an adult, I would think. So I really wish that he was still part of it. But I'm looking forward to that. That is coming out this year in December. So I am looking forward to that. We got some information on Ironheart, which is a Marvel project set to premiere in 2025. It is a TV series on Disney Plus. Let's see. Andor season 2. So we got some talk about that. There wasn't a whole lot talked about except for the fact that we will have director Krennic and K2SO involved in the show. We got some information on The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is coming out in 2020, May of 2026, not December. So we're supposed to get The Mandalorian and Grogu in May, and then I believe we're supposed to get another Star Wars movie in December. So we're getting two that year, supposedly. Um, so they did show like a little picture up on screen. I believe Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau came out and talked about it a little bit. Uh, but looking forward to that. They talked about Percy Jackson and the Olympian season two. Um, but yeah, lots and lots of stuff was talked about at D23, and I'm excited for the grand majority of the projects. The ones that I'm not excited for, I just don't associate with them, right? Um, like the last one I just said. Percy Jackson, never seen them. I'm sure it'll be great, but I've never seen it, so I'm not excited about it. So lots of stuff like that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the D23 announcements? Did you like them? Did you not like them? What's your take on the reorganization of Walt Disney World for the new stuff? Lots of interesting things happening in the next handful of years. If you enjoy this type of video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Drops a like if you like the video and drops a comment letting us know your thoughts on all of these different announcements. And then, as always, everybody, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.